Welcome to Think Grow, where we cover trending news of World Day 2. Today, we're unpacking an explainer full of massive global shifts that are literally reshaping our world in real time. We're going to navigate through intensifying military standoffs and dig into the rapid-fire evolution of artificial intelligence. But stick around, because at the very end of today's explainer, we're going to uncover a terrifying, deadly health crisis currently unfolding at sea. It's the shocking story you might have caught a glimpse of, and global authorities are racing against the clock right now to contain it. So here's what we're looking at today. We'll be dissecting some heavy military clashes, then pivoting to massive shifts in tech and business, before we finally dive into that shocking maritime health crisis. Let's get right into it. Section 1, Global Tensions and Strikes. Okay, so we're currently on day 71 of a really complex, intense standoff in the Middle East. It all started when U.S. fighter jets struck sites in Iran, which was a direct retaliation after American warships were targeted in the critical Strait of Hormuz. And right now, well, the U.S. is awaiting a response to a ceasefire proposal. But at the same time, Iran has issued a pretty stark warning. They're threatening a heavy assault if their ships face any more attacks. Now, back in the U.S., the political reactions are, as you'd expect, highly polarized. Former President Donald Trump publicly characterized these new military strikes on Iran as just a love tap. And during that exact same discussion, he also made some controversial remarks accusing Pope Leo of endangering a lot of Catholics with his stance on Iran. Meanwhile, the immediate fallout down in the Strait of Hormuz is getting really severe. Iran's navy still has a significant bite, largely thanks to a highly active Mosquito fleet made up of smaller, super agile vessels, and they've imposed new wartime rules in the area. But the crucial point here is the human cost. The UN is warning of an unprecedented crisis for civilian seafarers who are literally just stranded in the crossfire. In response to all this, Trump has actually proposed a plan to guide merchant ships through, though a lot of logistical questions still remain on how exactly that would work. Shifting our focus over to Eastern Europe, we're seeing this really deep, stark juxtaposition. In Moscow, they held their Victory Day parade, but it was noticeably sober and scaled down, which points to a Kremlin deeply unsettled by security fears. Yet the harsh reality of their external military force continues right on going. Just ahead of rival ceasefires surrounding that very same parade, Russian military strikes tragically killed 27 people in Ukraine. Section 2, the AI tech race. So, at the very highest corporate level, major tech giants, we're talking Microsoft, Google, and Elon Musk's xAI, have made this historic concession. They've agreed to let the government test their massive AI models before they even launch them to the public. But on a micro level, the physical infrastructure of AI is facing some fierce pushback. Residents in Utah are actively protesting a massive AI data center project backed by Kevin O'Leary. It just goes to show that while AI lives in the cloud, its physical footprint on our local communities is a highly contested issue. And behind closed doors, that messy legal battle surrounding OpenAI, it's taking some wild new turns. Elon Musk's lawsuit against OpenAI has gained a completely surprising new dimension. The mother of Musk's children has actually emerged as a key witness. It's just a crazy reminder that complex, very human relationships are ultimately driving these multi-billion-dollar algorithms. Now, with all this rapid development, the biggest fear for most of us is employment. Are the robots taking over? Well, recent reporting suggests a major reframe. AI isn't actually taking your job in the traditional sense of mass replacement. Instead, jobs are evolving to require completely new synergies. Understanding how to work alongside AI, rather than just fearing it, is going to be the absolute key to navigating the modern economy. Section 3, Sports and Culture Highlights. College basketball fans, listen up. The March Madness tournaments are officially expanding to 76 teams starting next season. What's super fascinating about this from a cultural and business perspective is that it's happening despite widespread resistance. Reports indicate that pretty much no one outside of the executives actually wants this to happen, but the massive financial mechanics of college sports are just pushing it through anyway. A couple of other quick sports notes to get you up to speed. First, Kentucky Derby winner Golden Tempo will officially skip next week's Preakness Stakes, which officially ends any hopes we had for a Triple Crown this year. And in the baseball world, we're saying goodbye to an absolute legend. The Atlanta Braves announced that Bobby Cox, the iconic manager whose teams basically ruled the National League, has passed away at the age of 84. Section 4, the deadly cruise outbreak. Over 100. That is the number of people who suddenly found themselves stranded on a cruise ship following a lethal, completely unexpected hantavirus outbreak. I mean, just imagine that for a second. You're on a luxury vacation, surrounded by open ocean, and suddenly a deadly, highly infectious virus starts sweeping through the enclosed environment of your ship. The reality for the people on board was an absolute nightmare. One survivor literally described it to reporters as a near-death experience. And it wasn't just the passengers fighting for their lives either. An American doctor, who was just supposed to be on a relaxing vacation, suddenly found himself thrust into full-blown emergency response mode, treating critically ill hantavirus patients right in the middle of the ocean. So what's happening right now? Active protocols are in full swing. The stricken ship has finally arrived in Spain's Canary Islands for processing. Aboard the ship, passengers are enduring a really grim quarantine situation. We're talking mandatory masks, watching movies in their rooms, and strictly solo deck walks to try and prevent any more transmission. Meanwhile, from the US all the way to Singapore, global health officials are in a frantic race to contact trace the victims. They're absolutely desperate to ensure this isolated outbreak does not spread any further. But here's the thing. This cruise ship isn't just one unlucky, isolated tragedy. It's actually a symptom of a much more alarming global trend. Lethal hantavirus cases are on the rise everywhere, and experts are increasingly pointing the finger directly at climate change. Basically, shifting ecosystems and warming temperatures are altering the natural habitats of the rodents that carry this virus, which is bringing them into much closer, much more frequent contact with human populations. Which really brings us to a final pretty provocative thought. As climate change rapidly accelerates and literally rewrites the biological map of our world, is our global health system truly ready for the next unpredictable outbreak? The crisis on that cruise ship was contained this time, but it serves as a blaring warning shot for all of us. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.